Already we discussed about domains and ranges of trigonometric functions as well as domains and ranges of inverse trigonometric functions. And if the trigonometric function is bisective, then its inverse is also a bisective function and its domain and ranges are as like this. And after defining the trigonometric function and its inverse, we already learnt about sine of sine inverse x. All these aspects we already discussed in the previous class itself. See, sine of sine inverse x as well as sine inverse of sine x. The answers, the results of this sine of sine inverse x and sine inverse of sine x similar to the other trigonometric functions like cos inverse of cos x, cos of cos inverse x, and everything we discussed in the previous class. And now here in this class I am starting my discussion with the domain and ranges of these inverse trigonometric functions, and after that I just try to solve these problems. Once you just recall the domain and ranges of inverse trigonometric functions. For sine inverse x, domain is this closed interval -1 to 1 and the range is this closed interval -π/2 to the π/2. For cos inverse x, the domain is the closed interval -1 to 1 whereas the range is the closed interval 0 to π. And for tan inverse x, the domain is all the real numbers whereas the range is -π/2 to the π/2 closed interval. For cosecant inverse x, -∞ to -1 union 1 to infinity, and the range -π/2 to 0 union 0 to π/2. Coming to secant inverse x, -∞ to -1 union 1 to infinity, and the range is closed interval 0 to π/2 union open π/2 to π. That in the sense, see, for cot inverse x, domain is the reals and the range is 0 to π. For sine inverse x and cosecant inverse x, the domains are same. For tan inverse x and cot inverse x, the domains are same. For cosecant inverse x and secant inverse x, the domains are same, and this domain is just a reciprocal of the domains of these two, because here the values are in between -1 to 1, whereas for secant inverse x and cosecant inverse x, the values are outside of that -1 to 1, right? Whereas coming to the range, see, for sine inverse x, -π/2 to π/2. Tan inverse also the same range, but here those π/2 and -π/2 has to be excluded. Here open interval, there closed interval. Similar to the cosecant inverse x also the same range as sine inverse x, but we need to eliminate that 0. We need to break the interval at 0. So for sine inverse x, cosecant inverse x and tan inverse x, see, it is almost similar the domain, right? For tan open interval, for cosecant you need to remove that 0. Whereas similarly for cos inverse, cot inverse and secant inverse, same type of the domain. Here close it 0 to π, for cot open 0 to π, for secant close it 0 to π, but we need to exclude π/2. Since π/2 is not included, we have to break the interval at π/2 and we specify in such a way. And these are the domains and ranges of all these things. So by practice automatically you will have a good memory on these things, okay? So you just memorize these things, and now I am going to solve these problems, these simple values related to the inverse trigonometry one by one. While calculating those simple values, we need to recall the domains and ranges of trigonometric functions as well as the inverse trigonometric function whenever they require, right? So among all those things, the first one is cos of sine inverse -1/2. Okay, cos of sine inverse -1/2. What is its value? See, cos of sine inverse -1/2. First of all, we need to calculate this sine inverse -1/2. We know sine inverse of something is an angle. The input, that something is the real number, the result is an angle. For that angle we need to calculate the cos, right? So sine inverse of -1/2. Here the input for this sine inverse is a negative quantity. If the input is positive, then the answer is in first quadrant. If the input is negative, then the answer should be in fourth quadrant. So we need to find out a value in the fourth quadrant whose sign value is -1/2. Okay, so just is a usual thing. First of all, we know sine of 30 degrees, which means sine π/6 is 1/2. Since sine π/6 is 1/2, then sine of -π/6 is -1/2. So this is simply nothing but minus pi by 6. So this is equals to cos of minus pi by 6. That's it. Why? Because you need to memorize in such a way, since sine of minus pi by 6 is minus 1 by 2, and this minus pi by 6 is an angle in the fourth quadrant, so it is acceptable. Okay, right. So in third quadrant also we have one angle which results as minus 1 by 2, but we don't need that one. We need the angle which is there in the range. Okay, so yeah, see the range, in the range of sine inverse minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, so we need to consider such angle. So sine of minus pi by 6 is minus 1 by 2, this is minus pi by 6. And now cos of minus theta, you know cos of minus theta is cos theta always, so this is cos pi by 6. And what is cos pi by 6? Cos of 30 degrees is simply root 3 by 2. That's the answer. Okay, just have a look. Right, in the same way we need to solve another next problem. I am erasing this for the space. Think about that, sine of cos inverse 1 by 2. B, sine of cos inverse 1 by 2. Right. See, for cos inverse the range is 0 to pi, first and second quadrants. Here this 1 by 2 is positive, so surely our answer should be there in the, should be there in the first quadrant. Cos inverse 1 by 2. We know whenever the cos is 1 by 2, cos 60 degrees is 1 by 2. Since it is cos inverse 1 by 2, 60 degrees means pi by 3. So directly this value of cos inverse 1 by 2 is pi by 3 that. Since sine of pi by 3 is sine 60 degrees, right? Sine 60 degrees means root 3 by 2. And so your answer for the problem is root 3 by 2. While identifying the angles corresponding to this inverse trigonometric functions, we need to think about the input. We need to think about that number. If that number is positive for all the 6 trigonometric ratios, if that number is positive, your answer should be there in the first quadrant. If that number is negative, then your answer is either in second quadrant or in fourth quadrant. That's it. If it is negative, then you need to think for some time. If it is positive, don't worry, just go with the first quadrant. Okay. So here this 1 by 2 is positive, so cos inverse of 1 by 2 is simply pi by 3. So sine of pi by 3 is root 3 by 2, and your answer for the second bit is again root 3 by 2. Right? There is the situation. Then coming to the C. What it is? C. So sine inverse of 22 pi by 7. Right. How to solve this? First of all, we have see sine inverse of, as I mentioned you, sine inverse of sin x is equals to x for x belongs to the domain as well as the range of the sine inverse, which is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Yeah. If x is there in this range, minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, then directly we write that sine inverse of sin x is x. But this 22 by 7 is an angle which is not in this range. Since this is not in this range, so we don't have a chance to answer directly. We need to try to convert this angle into an angle which is in the range of minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So for such conversion, you need to pay attention on the angle. What is that angle? 22 pi by 7. So just try to split that angle, okay? 22 pi by 7. So I have different chances, okay? 21 pi plus pi by 7. Just think about the angle, that's enough, okay? 21 pi by 7 is simply 3 pi plus pi by 7. Is that right? 3 pi plus pi by 7. And now I will write this 3 pi as 2 pi plus pi by 7. So this angle is 2 pi plus pi by 7. In trigonometry, we usually neglect the complete revolutions because they don't affect the values. So sine of 2 pi plus pi by 7, you just leave about this 2 pi. Pay attention on this pi plus pi by 7. Now we have Sine inverse sine of pi plus pi by 7. Okay. What you say about sine inverse sine of pi plus pi by 7? We need to search for it. Yeah. Sine of pi plus pi by 7. Sine of 180 plus theta. Sine of 180 plus theta is what? Minus sine theta. So I will write it like this. So this is equals to sine inverse minus sine pi by 7. Okay. Sine of 180 plus theta is minus sine theta. So use your trigonometric knowledge. Okay. Sine of pi plus pi by 7 is minus sine pi by 7. Sine inverse minus sine pi by 7 also can be written as, this is equals to sine inverse sine of minus pi by 7. So now this minus pi by 7 is an angle which is there in the required range, minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Since this minus pi by 7 is an angle in this range, so directly you will answer now it as minus pi by 7. Just have a look. Sine inverse sine of, here again sine inverse sine of. Usually the people will think that cancel this sine inverse and sine, write the answer as 22 pi by 7 like that. See, you have a chance to cancel out only if that angle is there in this range. Okay. This angle 22 pi by 7 is not an angle in this range. So you don't have any chance to cancel that sine inverse and sine. Now at this stage, this angle is there in between this minus pi by 2 and pi by 2. So now you are allowed to balance this sine inverse and sine, and you will write your answer as minus pi by 7. Okay, just have a look. Tan inverse tan of 5 pi by 7. First of all, again you just think about that tan inverse tan of x. See, tan inverse tan of x is x. This tan inverse and tan get balanced, and we will just balance it, and we will neglect it, and then the answer will become x only if that x is there in the range of tan, which is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Open interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. If that x is there in this range, then the answer is directly x. But here what it is? 5 pi by 7. You need to think about that. 5 pi by 7 means how much it is? Is it there in that range or not? You need to think in such a way. Okay? This is pi by 2 and that is 5 pi by 7. So just try to make, this 5 pi by 7 can be written as 10 pi by 14 by multiplying with 2. And this pi by 2 can be written as, if you multiply with 7, it is 7 pi by 14. So the range is up to pi by 2 means up to 7 pi by 14, but the given angle is 10 pi by 14. So this angle is out of this given exact range. This angle 10 pi by 14 is after this 7 pi by 14. So we don't have any chance directly to write the answer, and now you just try to rewrite that angle. Okay, 5 pi by 7. How to write that pi by 7 can be written as pi minus 2 pi by 7. Just have a look. Pi minus 2 pi by 7. 7 pi minus 2 pi is 5 pi by 7. Now this is tan inverse of pi minus 2 pi by 7. Tan of 180 minus theta. Tan of 180 minus theta is minus tan theta. So this is tan inverse minus tan theta, right? So minus tan of 2 pi by 7. Okay. If any of you feel difficulty in analyzing this tan of 180 minus theta, sine of 180 minus theta like that, you just revise your trigonometry, right? So tan inverse minus tan 2 pi by 7. So I don't need this minus. So I will rewrite it like this. Tan inverse tan of minus 2 pi by 7. This minus 2 pi by 7 is for sure is there in our range minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Okay. So since it is there in our range, our answer is directly minus 2 pi by 7. Okay, once again the same logic as previous, right? Here it is tan inverse tan, here it is tan inverse tan, but we don't cancel these two and we don't write that as 5 pi by 7 because this is not an angle in the required range, but whereas this angle is an angle in the required range, so we will cancel out these two and we write directly the answer as minus 2 pi by 7. So this is D, and then we need to solve E as well as F. Okay, just think about E. E, what it is? Cot of cos inverse 7 by 25. We need to calculate this particular value. See, cos inverse 7 by 25. This 7 by 25 is not a known value, is not a corresponds to known angle, and that's why you just cot of this cos inverse 7 by 25 is an angle, so take it as theta. So this is simply equals to cot theta, for theta is equals to cos inverse 7 by 25. Okay, and from this, theta is equals to cos inverse 7 by 25 means cos theta is equals to 7 by 25. And since cos theta is equal to 7 by 25, you just try to frame a right angle triangle. Since it is 7 by 25, adjacent side is 7, hypotenuse is 25, then for sure you will get the opposite side as 24. So now this is a triangle corresponds to theta. What we need? We need cot of this. This is theta. We need cot theta, and this cot theta is simply cot theta is adjacent side by opposite side, which is 7 by 24. At the end, the answer for this cot of cos inverse 7 by 25 is 7 by 24. You just treat this as some theta. So the given question will become cot theta. I need to find cot theta. I know cos theta as 7 by 25. So 7 by 25 means opposite side and the hypotenuse. Adjacent side is 24. Since we need cot means adjacent by opposite. So 7 by 24 is the answer. In the same way, you need to solve this F also. Just have a look. Next bit is F. Solve in the same way, okay? So F, we need to calculate what? Sine of cot inverse x. So again you just take it as some theta. So then the given question will become sine theta, for theta is equals to cot inverse x. Since theta is equals to cot inverse x, you will write that cot theta is equals to x. I think you know it, the way of writing this. Theta is cot inverse x and cot theta is x. Since cot theta is x, you just take a right angle triangle with the angle theta, okay, and cot means opposite by adjacent, so this is x and this is 1. You will get that hypotenuse as 1 plus x square. At the end we need to find sine theta. Sine theta is opposite by hypotenuse, so 1 by root of 1 plus x square is our required answer. So sine of cot inverse x is simply 1 by root of 1 plus x square. Okay, just have a look. So the ninth point, okay, just have a look. See, inverse trigonometric functions for the negative of the angle. Sine inverse of minus x, cos inverse of minus x, tan inverse of minus x, cot inverse of minus x, cosecant inverse of minus x and secant inverse of minus x. You just have a look. For this sine inverse of minus x, tan inverse of minus x and cosecant inverse of minus x, the answers are directly equals to minus sine inverse x, minus tan inverse x, minus cosecant inverse x. But whereas for the remaining three, this cos inverse and cot inverse and secant inverse of the negative angle minus x is pi minus secant inverse x, pi minus cot inverse x and pi minus cos inverse x. And all these things are again in the same domain of the x, okay? as we know the domain of these two functions is minus 1 to 1, the same thing we need to accept for x. Here the x is all real, here x is in the range minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity, which is same as the domain of this cosecant inverse x and secant inverse x. Okay, see the proofs regarding all these things are actually not required. If you wish, just go with some examples, take some examples, try to find out both sides and then check it. Okay, for suppose if I give you just few examples as a check. Okay, I will take it as something like a or anything. Cos inverse of minus x is equals to pi minus cos inverse x. You just take any angle. For suppose if you take cos inverse of 1 minus 1 by 2. So what you say about cos inverse of minus 1 by 2? As I mentioned you, see this angle is negative. See this number is negative, right? This input value minus 1 by 2 is a negative number, and so the output of cos inverse is there in the second quadrant. So we need to search for an angle in the second quadrant which gives us minus 1 by 2. So cos of 60 degrees is 1 by 2. So cos of 120 degrees, 180 minus 60 is also 1 by 2. So this cos inverse of minus 1 by 2 is 120 degrees, which is 2 pi by 3. Whereas if you think for cos inverse of 1 by 2, if you think for cos inverse of 1 by 2, what to say? Cos inverse of 1 by 2, 1 by 2 is the number input. If input of the inverse trigonometric functions are positive, then surely the angle, the output is in first quadrant. So since it is positive number, cos inverse of 1 by 2 is in first quadrant, and that angle is simply 60 degrees, which is pi by 3. And this pi by 3 can be written as pi minus 2 pi by 3. Is it right? Since it is pi minus 2 pi by 3, we may rewrite like this: pi minus of cos inverse minus 1 by 2. That in the sense, when you send this cos inverse minus 1 by 2 this side, cos inverse of 1 by 2 plus cos inverse of minus 1 by 2 is equals to pi. So just observe this. For cos inverse, tan inverse, cot inverse and secant inverse, see inverse trigonometric function of an angle and the inverse trigonometric function of its negative. If you add these two, you will get pi. Okay, so we will conclude that cos inverse of minus x plus cos inverse of x is pi. That x may be any angle which is in this region. Okay, just I mentioned you one example related to this. So we need to accept all these things, and if necessary we need to use. Have a look. So just have a look. These are some more very useful and important rules related to the inverse trigonometry. Sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x is equals to pi by 2. Always sin inverse of an angle plus cos inverse of an angle is pi by 2. If you add, and that, see, and that number x should be there in the, that x must be there in the range of minus 1 to 1. Tan inverse of x plus cot inverse of x is again equals to pi by 2 for x as any real number. Secant inverse of x plus cosecant inverse of x is again pi by 2, and for x belongs to minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity. As per the standard domain of the functions, you just take any x and try to find sin inverse of that number as well as cos inverse of that number. If you add, the sum will become 90. Take any number and you check. Okay, and there are some other ways of proofs also, but all those proofs actually they are not mandatory for solving the problems. Okay, just look there. See, you just take any number and then try to think about it. What you say about any angle? For suppose sine inverse of, sine inverse of some minus 1 by 2 plus cos inverse of minus 1 by 2. What to say about this? See, sine inverse of minus 1 by 2. Since the number is negative, answer is not there in first quadrant. Since it is sine, it is there in fourth quadrant. Since the sine inverse of minus pi by 2, so if it is 1 by 2, your answer is pi 30 degrees, pi by 6. Since it is minus 1 by 2, your answer is what? Minus pi by 6. Sine inverse of minus 1 by 2 is minus pi by 6. Whereas cos inverse of minus 1 by 2. Here the number is negative, answer no, is not there. See, so the answer is cos inverse, right? Yeah. Since the number is negative, the result of cos inverse lies in second quadrant. In second quadrant, 1 by 2 is corresponds to what? 2 pi by 3. So this is minus pi by 6 and that is 2 pi by 3, and then you just try to simplify, multiply with the 2 there. So minus pi plus 4 pi by 6. Minus pi plus 4 pi by 6 is nothing but 3 pi by 6, that is equals to pi by 2. Okay. Just I checked with that number minus 1 by 2 in the place of x. Similarly, you just take any number in the place of x for the second one as well as for the third one. Always these three results are true in inverse trigonometry and they are very useful in solving the problems. You just try to memorize. Sin inverse x plus cos inverse x is pi by 2. Tan inverse x plus cot inverse x is pi by 2. And cosecant inverse x plus secant inverse x is again pi by 2. Okay. Right? Just have a look. Right? Sometimes the question asks you like that. What to say about the sin of secant inverse x plus cosecant inverse x? For x is in the range of minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity. What is its answer? See, the answer is directly sin of, this is pi by 2, right? Because secant inverse plus cosecant inverse. So sin of pi by 2 is 1. So we will answer directly, okay, with the help of these rules. Have a look. So in the next class we are going to discuss some more problems and properties related to inverse trigonometry. Okay.